Alright, everyone, this is Ash. Welcome back to the King's Speech. So I just finished recording my Shonen Jump reaction reviews for this weekend. So we're just going to dive into the read-throughs for this weekend. So my initial plan was, I think, to cover one volume of Yona Of The Dawn and then one volume of Bride Story. But because it's been so long since I've covered Yona, and because the gaps between them are so large, I think I'm just going to cover 2 volumes of Yona Of The Dawn this weekend, just because then there'll only be 2 volumes left for me to catch up. So I feel like that's easier in the rotation cycle if I do it that way. I have to get caught up on this series rather than one like Bride Story, where being and staying relevant isn't really that much of a big deal, especially considering the fact that there's fewer volumes of one series compared to the other. With that said, so we'll cover 2 volumes of Yona Of The Dawn this weekend. So a lot of good stuff coming your way. So if you haven't already, please do like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Without further ado, let's dive into it with Yona Of The Dawn, Volume 42. And you're going to have to bear with me because it has been a while since I've read the last volume, so my memory of events and stuff might be a little bit fuzzy. But yeah, let's get to it. Yona Of The Dawn, Volume 41. By Mizuho Kusanagi. As we have chapter 235, Comrades Through Thick and Thin. So we have Huck going, "Hiya, General Ron." You have Lord Huck. It's like he's not alone, but it's too dark to see the others. And you see a Fuish as Yona standing in defensive formation in front of... Is it supposed to be Maignan? I cannot remember who. Oh no, she's protecting Val. Yeah, you see him ordering his soldiers to go, "Light now! Surround them!" And as they light up their torches, you see a thwack as something just cuts through in an arc and slices off the tops. And you see Huck has cut through it. And he's like, "They must be close!" He's like, "Our torches!" And you see a swish and an ah! He's like, "Damn you!" And you see as the soldiers get disarmed, you see them kind of like turning on each other, slashing at each other. It's like, "Is the enemy here?" And Ron's like, "This is bad." It's like, "Everyone stay calm." It's like they're attacking each other. You're like, "Gah!" And he just flings out his spear into the darkness, and he just sees him land on the ground. I didn't hit anything. It's like they ran away. It's like that was Lord Huck, and another familiar face. It's like impossible. It's like, no, it couldn't have been. There's no way General Val could be here. And then you see as Huck and the others are indeed running away, he goes, "Hurry, there's no time to deal with them all." And Val's like, "Listen, princess, it's dangerous to stand before me in battle." And Yona's like, "I figured you wouldn't want to fight your former comrades. You know that man well, right? Maybe I was being presumptuous, though. I apologize." And he's like, "No, it's all right." He's like, "Coming into contact with them will just slow me down. If I want to get to Maignan as soon as possible, I shouldn't face them." I see him like flashing back as like sitting together with all of them in a circle as they're eating and drinking. And Huck's like, "I wonder how far the others have gotten." Yona says that, and Huck's like, "I didn't expect Zeno to pursue that cloaked figure. He looked dangerous." And Val's like, "That was one of the Dromos, the assassin who abducted Maignan. Their presence means that Chagol is here." And Yona's like, "Does that mean Maignan is too?" It's like, "Most likely." And Huck's like, "Let's head to that large tent Sinha mentioned." And Yona's like, "I hope those guys aren't lost." Excuse me. You see with a thup as Jayha's just like hopping from... Is that Jayha or one of the Dromos? Might be one of the Dromos just like hopping from tent to tent to tent. And you see so it's one of the Dromos. And you see Jayha's little like daggers getting sent flying into the air with the whip as they dodge out of the way. You see that Jayha's leaped above him. He's like lashing out with a bunch of kicks. And he knocks one of them towards Gijo, grabs him with the giant dragon arm. And you see a swish as one of the other ones flying towards Sinho, kind of like slashes at him. And Zeno's like, "Blue Dragon, don't let him escape!" And you see one of the other Dromos comes up behind Zeno and just like puts one of the their little knives to his throat with a "Don't move." God damn, bro. And you see with the shink as Zeno uses his blade to like cut his arm. And with a flip, you see as he transforms into his dragon head, he grabs him and just slams him into the ground. And Jayha's like, "Zeno, are you okay?" It's like, Zeno? And you see Zeno's kind of got like a bloodlust look on his face. And he's like, huh? Why am I so desperate to capture him? And you see the Dromos going, the renowned dragon warriors. Immensely powerful indeed. And, God, Jeha's like, your physical gifts are really something. Are you truly human? It's like green dragon, white dragon, blue dragon. It's like, are you feeling alright? It's like surprisingly energized, actually. And Gijo's like, I'm perfectly fine too. And Zeno's like, that seems strange. You've recovered too quickly. It should take longer even with the young lady near. Since Hiryu Palace should be more... And he's like, you're holding something, aren't you? Did you take something from beneath Hiryu Palace? And you see with the boom as like a little grenade is dropped nearby. Or a smoke bomb, I guess. And you see as Zeno's like got the cough standing, you see one of the Dromos getting the others. He's like, he had companions, like, hold it! And you see one of the Dromos just stabs Zeno right through the chest. And Zeno's like, Zeno's like, we need to follow. It's like, was that an explosion? It's like, soldiers, let's get moving. It's like, Zeno! And you see back outside one of the tents, you have Hawk, Val, and Yona all doing like a little meeting going, there are loads of soldiers over there. That must be the place, right? And Yona's like, the others aren't here. I wonder what happened. It's like, they're probably fine, but want to wait a bit? And Val's like, no, we don't have a lot of time and you've done more than enough. And Hawk's like, are you going? It's like, the longer we take, the harder rescuing Maignan will be. I can handle the rest. Right now, I want to see her at once. It's like, then I'll go scatter those soldiers. And then Hawk's like, then I'll go scatter those soldiers while you get Maignan out. And he's like, no, it's like, people here know your face. I've come this far, use me. And he's like, princess, please wait here. She's like, Hawk! It's like, White Snake and the others might show up. Fill them in. And she just goes like, something's like, come back, okay? He's like, of course. And he's like, I hear Koko's army is surrounding us, like he's the murmur among the soldiers. It's like, I hear intruders have even entered the camp. It's like, why are we deploying General Kaji at a time like this? It's like, why can't you send General Kaji? It's like, he's been detained for sneaking into this tent. It's like, I see. It's like, is that really so serious? It's like, that's what I don't get. And you see Hawk just kind of like blending with the soldiers. He's like, hey, wait, how long have you been standing there? He's like, oh, I just snuck in. He's like, intruder! It's like, you've got some nerve. Inform all squads, we found an intruder. He's like, only one? Where are the others? And Hawk's like, move and I'll cut you down. He's like, that's right, come on over. All of you, come at me. He's like, and you, hurry and get Maignan back, Val. And you see Hawk just lashing out with these glaives, like all the soldiers are trying to surround him. And Val's watching this goes, he's the real deal, all right. They should give me time to find an unguarded area so I can reach her. He might be able to kill any general, no matter how strong. He's like, anyone. And he thinks about like Eye Patch Bro having been also taken down by Hawk. And you have, General Hitan's like, General Hitan, here, an intruder! And you see as he's riding by on his horse, he goes, Kaji still hasn't been released. What a day. It's like, where is he? And as Hawk sees him, he's like, a strong one, huh? He's like, over here. And he looks behind him in surprise. And you see Val's just standing there. And you see, thinking back to Maignan going, I'll live my life with you. That's fine by me. It's like, I found myself saying those words, and I didn't mean them lightly. And Hitan's like, Val, it's like, I've caused too many problems for everyone. And he's like, I just wanted to make my final farewells. As you have chapter 236, The Relic. Hitan's like, Val. He's like, you're all right, General Val. I knew you were no traitor, right? And Val's like, no. I drew a weapon on Chagol. I concluded that Maignan's life was in danger. I can't let her return to Phoenix Palace. He's like, General Hitan, I'll be taking Maignan and leaving South Kai. That's what I came here to say. Hitan's like, I was devastated by your death. This camp was in complete disarray. I wished you were here. What am I supposed to do? Regardless, I can't allow you to pass. Emperor Chagol said to execute you if you survived. I have family in the capital. I have more at risk than you. And you see him just kind of like brandishing his spear, as Hawk also brandishes his glaive with a shink. And Val's like, Hawk, thanks for your help. but I gotta take care of this myself. Now as he pulls out his dual swords and he rushes at Hitan. And Huck's like, you wanted to talk to him, huh? And Jeff, don't move, intruder! As the other soldiers surround him. And Yona's like, Val, Huck, I hope Gija and the others get here soon. And he hears a bam nearby. She twitches. And you have, General Val's alive? He's with General Hitan. It's like, that way! Ooh, and you see them, like all the soldiers are guarding nearby shack running off. And Yona's like, something about that shed bothers me. And as she goes inside, like opens the door with a creak. And she sees someone that's been like badly beaten. Like you see this very bruised pair of feet with like bruises and like cuts all over it. And you have a, hey, is General Val really still alive? And you see the other generals like bound up with rope like up ahead. He's just been like whipped and beaten. He's like, hey, come on. Since you rushed out of here to check on things, you could at least tell me if he's alive or not. It's like, huh? You're not a soldier? It's like, who are you? And Yona's like, are you a criminal? It's like, you don't know who I am? Are you from the village? Whatever, that doesn't matter. Is General Val still alive? And Yona's like, it should be okay to tell him. It's like, yes. It's like, so, it's true. Then could you inform Lady Maignan as soon as possible? And Yona's like, you're friends with her and Val? It's like, huh? I came here with Val to save her. And Yona's like, save her? Save Lady Maignan? It's like, yes. It's like, I want to save her too. It's like, please, let me join you to help save her. And you see with a slam as one of the other soldiers comes back in to the prison. He's like, hey, I thought I heard talking in here. In fact, I'm sure I did. And he's like, just me to myself. It's like, yourself? It's like, there are intruders, aren't there? Shall I face them? It's like, you can't. I can't release you without the Emperor say so. And with a slish, she's like, I see. Well, never mind. And you see that his robe's been cut. And he just like drops down with a thump. He's like, I've already been freed. As he just like whips it around to slap into the soldier. And with a thud, he's like, ugh. As they tie him up with a paff. And you see as he's getting ready, as they're outside. You have a knack for cutting rope. Are you from Coca? He's like, I'm Yona. He's like, name for the princess? That's her name, right? Coca's princess? And Yona's like, that's right. He's like, huh, that little one. He's like, you know Ho? She's Maignan's. He's like, I've seen her from afar. She wasn't around when Lady Maignan was a general. But after Lady Maignan became a concubine, I'd see Ho with her. It's like, how could I not notice? Looking back, she already seemed so sad. It's like, I can't believe I didn't realize that until it came to this. Kaji, that was his name. And as Yona's like helping him bandage himself, he's like, what's your name? He's like, I'm Kaji. Come with me, will ya? I want your help with something. Excuse me. She's like, huh? It's like, don't you want to see Val? I'd like some fighting power, but it'd be a bad time to run into General Hitan. She's like, but I have to wait for Huck and Gija and the others. It's like, no. I have a feeling the dragons won't be coming here. It's like, I have no one now. Even if I lose everything here, I want to save Lady Maignan. Being near Chagol is hell. And Yona's like, alright, I'll come. And you see later as you have like one of the ministers, I assume, bowing to him, going, Emperor Chagol, I'm so sorry. Half my personal troops have been wiped out. It's General Ron's fault for delaying. And Ron's like, you chose to deploy incompetence. If you lack sufficient personal troops, mount up and fight. And you see, take them away. He's like, sir, no, forgive me, as they're dragging him away. He's like, Coca's palace should no longer be supplying the army. If this drags on, we'll have an overwhelming advantage. Hold out as if your life depends on it. Punish the failures, execute deserters. And you see one of the soldiers going, Urk? It's like, where's Hitan? It's like, he's fighting someone we believe to be General Val. And you see, forgive me for not speaking sooner. There's conflicting intel. You have silence. And Chagol's like, Val is still alive? And you see one of those Dromos slinking in. And he goes, you're late. What if Hiryu Palace? It's like, the main structure is burned down, but the fire spared the lower level. There was a coffin in the center. It's like, so the Crimson Dragon King's tomb does exist. He's like, I couldn't open the coffin, but I found something in the mausoleum. It proves Hiryu Palace fell to you. And you see outside with that's like, Zeno! It's like, are you alright? He's like, I'm healing. He's like, let's go. And as he's like struggling to get up, Kiji's like, your wound hasn't closed yet. He's like, I'll heal. as I run. It's like, they stole it. And Gita's like, what's it? The thing he took from beneath Hiryu Palace? What exactly is it? And he's like, our body's origin. It's what created them. And you see as the Dromos presents like this little wrap box to him, goes, now, Emperor Chagol. Christ. Did he really get the Holy Grail? Like, really? Yeah, but national treasure of Coca. As he opens it up, you see like this little grail nestled into like this box. It's like, how beautiful. It's like this chalice. It's like Coca's founding myth contains a chalice linked to the dragon gods. The chalice of the 4 dragons' blood. In order to protect the Crimson Dragon, 4 dragons, blue, green, yellow, and white, gave their blood to human warriors, granting them power. And Chagol's like, and this is a replica? It's like, no, it's the real thing. He's like, you sound like a con man. It's like, the dragon warriors attacked me as I bought this to you. It's like, the dragons? They hounded and questioned me. Did you take something from beneath Hiryu Palace? That proved it. It's the true chalice. It's like, the cup that held the dragon's god's blood? I see. It's like, tell me of the dragon warriors. God, I really hope this is not going to end with him like drinking the blood and like gaining their powers or something. It's like, they're truly human weapons. I've never seen such monsters. And as the rumors say, a red-haired girl led them. And Chagol's like, Coca's princess? Is she genuine too? It's like, it seems she snuck in with General Val. It's like, he sure found some strange friends. It's like, don't let my kitten know he's alive. It's like, unlike my kitten, you won't break, will you, Val? And what a cheeky king you are, Suan. Even after Coca and your palace have been set ablaze, why won't you break? Well, the 4 legendary dragons, Princess Yona, and the Chalice of Blood. All of these treasures belonging to Coca have now wandered into my domain. What shall I do to break you? Because you have chapter 237, Toward the Call. And Jeha's like, Chalice of the Dragon's Blood? The mythical holy... Christ, man. The mythical holy grail, huh? Is it really that important? And Zeno's like, nope, we'll worry about it after we get Nyan Nyan back. No need to worry about what Zeno said. And you see Jeha's kind of like surprised by this. It's like, Jeha, it's rare for you to make such a gaffe. It's like, sorry. It's like, Zeno hid his real feelings. And Zeno's like, what? You and the other original dragons drank blood from it, right? It must be special to you. And Zeno's like, not really. It's like, Zeno, I'm not sure how to describe it. When that cloaked figure appeared, we also instinctively wanted to go after him. Knowing what kind of treasure he stole, it makes sense. It belongs to the dragon warrior, so we should get it back. And Jeha's like, it'll probably be handed over to Chagol, which means Mainyan might be nearby. First, we need to join up with the others. I'll look from above. And as he takes off with a leap, he sees someone kind of just like waving down to him. He's like, is that Mainyan? It's like, Jeha, what did you see? It's like, Mainyan. And you see a fuck as an arrow comes and takes him in the shoulder. You see some soldiers firing at him from below as he falls with a thud and an ugh. It's like, Jeha! He's like, stay back, it's a trap! And you see more soldiers showing up behind them. And you see Sinha just kind of like taking off his mask to use his like dragon glare on them as they all just start to freeze. You have Sinha! Sinha! As you see him also collapsing. And you see Gita sees one of the Dromos assassins nearby and he goes, curse you! As he tries to swing at him with the arm. And you see another boom as they throw a smoke bomb. Ooh. What the hell? And you see a smoke bomb and like, I don't know if it's a smoke bomb or like an actual bomb. But you see Jeha kind of like also getting knocked to the ground. Ooh, and you see in the next panel the Dromos just like stabs him in the leg with his little bladed glove. And he's like, ah! And you see a bunch of soldiers grabbing an unconscious Sinha and Jeha. He's like, stop! Don't touch my brothers! And you see his dragon arm as he slashes it down, just creating like these cracks in the ground. He's like, what? And the Dromos is like, don't be scared, move. And he tosses another grenade towards him with a boom. And you see that it's not enough to take him down with Sinha, Jeha! And Zeno's like, White Tray! And you see one of the Dromos coming up behind him, like choking him unconscious. And you have a rumble, rumble, rumble. And you have Emperor Chagol. We have captured the dragon warriors. It's like, once we understood the respective traits, it was simple. And as you see back inside with Chagol going, ah, kitten, you're so useful. And Mainyan's like, I beg you, please release Kaji now. And he's like, I thought you were tougher than this. You're nothing like you were as a general. It's like, if you despise me, strike me, bristle at me, threaten me. I'm your beloved Val's enemy. You see Chagol thinking back to when he first saw Maignan, like, sitting next to a thing, her, like, garb, like, all bruised up and bruised, but still looking, like, very confident. He's like, I don't want to make you cry needlessly. I'll release Kaji. You have Emperor Chagol. It seems General Kaji has escaped. The soldiers are riled up about it. And she's like, Imperial Highness. And he's like, kill him. He's like, Emperor Chagol. It's like, you promised. He's like, I forgive no one who runs from me. He's like, wait, please wait. It's like, next, Princess Yona. It's like, stop, Your Imperial Highness. It's like, yes, sir. He thinks back to her first meeting with her. It's like, who are you? So you can only watch if you pay. He's like, how dull. I guess what thought was the end. And he's with a as like Hawk is just standing next to the mountain of soldiers' corpses. He's like, it's over. It's like, I can't interfere with Val's battle. Guess I'll go get Maignan back. It's like, first I need to go get Her Highness. And as he's running off towards where he left her, it's like, she's not here? And he sees that she just left like one arrow just stuck in the ground. It's like, this is her arrow. A message for me, huh? Does it mean that she wasn't taken away? That she left for a reason? It's like, the dragons aren't here either. Suddenly being separated like this makes me feel uneasy. With my friends at my side, I was feeling confident for the first time in a while. I was sure we'd succeed. And he said, calm down, nothing's lost yet. It's like, that bastard advisor went out of his way to see me too. He thinks back to Keishuk telling him, please ensure you protect Princess Yona. So you're wondering why I'm stating something so obvious, aren't you? It's like, what's with the sudden politeness? It's like, I forgot to mention that you're no longer part of Squad 35. You're now captain of the Sky Tribe's escort squad. And he's like, huh? It's like, we promoted you in honor of squad member Huck, who died protecting Kin Province. He's like, I'm not dead. It's like, normally you'd be protecting this camp, but this mission cannot be allowed to fail. Depending on your results there, we'll consider promoting you further. He's got to do this even without a carrot waved in front of me. He really didn't seem to want Her Highness to do this. That said, this isn't just about getting Maignan back. If I don't come at this aiming to take down the boss, I'll lose everything. With the yank, he pulls Yona's arrow out, and he hears a rustle nearby with, an enemy! And you see, it's a white snake! And you see a beaten up Gija nearby. He's like, he's like, I'm sorry, Huck. Jehan and the others have been... As you see, chapter 238, the ruler of this place. Yeah, one of the dragons has escaped. The others are in our hands. They won't abandon their comrades. All that's left is capturing Princess Yona. Is he back with Kaji? He's like, what's wrong? And Yona's like, I have a bad feeling. It's like, a bad feeling? And she's like, behind you! As you see one of the Bromos just like lunging at him. And you see a Fush and a, why General Kaji? Working with Princess Yona? It's like, they're with the assassination squad. He's like, Princess Yona? He's like, Princess? She's Koka's princess? And the Dromos are like, perfect. We were looking for you. One of the intruders from Koka. 3 of the 4 dragons are now in Emperor Chagol's possession. His Imperial Highness awaits you two. It would be best not to resist. As Kaji like tightens his fans on his sword, he goes, wait. You only need Princess Yona, don't you? It's like, damn it, my body is already a wreck. It's like, there's no way Emperor Chagol will let me live after running away. It's like, we're glad you're so perceptive, General Kaji. It's come in no shape to go up against these guys. It's like, please, hold out just a little longer. Jeff, prepare yourself. Yeah, Sinha, can you move? It's like, no. Zeno? It's like, do you really have to ask? It's like, you guess not. You see them just like in this little shed, wrapped up in chains. And Zeno's like, Green Dragon, it's your fault for blithely pouncing at Nyan Nyan when you saw her. It's like, I wouldn't say pouncing. Beautiful Maignan was waving at me. And Sinha's like, it was a trap. It's like, they probably forced her, poor thing. It's like, I wonder if Gija got away. It's like, I hope so. And you have, are the dragons in here? As Chagol walks in, you have a thump. It's like, the white dragon got away, And Jeha's like, what's going on suddenly? I suddenly feel so hot. And Sinha's like, this man. And Zeno's like, you have it, don't you? He's like, it? It's like, oh, you can tell? What peculiar individuals. It's like, what do you plan to do with us? It's like, you are Koka's beliefs made flesh. If I steal and kill their gods, it will break the spirits of Koka's people. Far more effective than outright war, Then you have Emperor Chagol, we've captured Princess Yona. And you see the Dromos leading her in with, Yona! It's like, that was quick. It's like, Yona, how? It's like, where's Huck? He's like, sorry for getting caught, everyone. I'll be alright. I'll definitely save you. And you see Chagol kind of just like drags her into his embrace and goes, what about this woman? If Princess Yona were captured and killed, do you think it would break the people of Koka or King Suwon? You see the dragons all just getting like furious. It's like, I see. Your faces say it all. He's like, come along. He just like drags her out. It's like, wait. He's like, if you hurt Yona, you'll pay. And you see inside as Chagol sees Mainyon's there as he drags her into her tent. And she's like, Princess Yona? It's like, Mainyon, like, listen, Vala's... And you see Chagol just grabs her by the throat and goes, don't say anything you shouldn't. I won't hesitate to crush your throat. It's like, Princess Yona came after the dragon warriors? It's like, they were caught because of me. And he goes and kind of just like drags her up by her hair and goes, nearly everyone who wants to steal you from me is gone. Don't worry, you won't lose anything else. And Yona's like, stop hurting her! And he just kind of like backhands her. And he sees, God. And you see like Yona just kind of like defiantly looking at him. And you have an, He's like, no biting your tongue, kitten, I won't allow it. And you see, And you see Yona going like, she's having a bout of the crimson sickness. And Chagol's like, don't move, as one of the Dromos comes like, puts a blade to her throat. And Mainyon's like clutching her head with an And Yona's like, Mainyon is suffering from headaches. I have medicine. Please allow me to administer it. I won't speak to her. And he's like, very well. He's like, no. And Mainyon's like, no, it won't help. And I don't care what happens. Let me die. It's like, take this. Take it, Mainyon. And thinks back to Yun saying, Yona, if you see Mainyon, make sure she takes this. It's the Senju herb that Yun gave me. You see after she gives it to her, she like dozes off. And Chagol goes, I'm baffled. What brings Koka's princess all the way to this camp? You're the sword who stands beside King Suwon even in battle. Do you think you could pull a fast one on me? And she's like, I bought this medicine. It's like, huh? It's like, it's impossible for me to fight you. But I can serve as a... I can serve as a hostage. I beg you to spare the lives of the dragon warriors. And he's like, she's sacrificing herself. It's like, I see. She's a noble princess who loves and is loved by her people. Koka citizens are delighted to see their legendary Crimson Dragon King in this girl. How foolish of them. And you see the next day, she's like tied to this like execution post. And you have Murmur with Princess Yona. It's like an execution and intruders to be executed. Gather round. And you see as Huck's bandaging up Gija, he's like, executing an intruder? It can't be. It's like, they're executing Princess Yona? How? How could this happen? And this was Judo was like slamming his fist down in anger. And Keishuk's like, they demand that we withdraw our troops and that His Majesty personally retrieves the princess. It's like, we can't give in those demands. This guy didn't think we'd have more people to save. And Keishuk's like, this is why I didn't want her to go. And you have the Koka army slowly pulling back. There's no sign of King Suwon. And Chagol's like, don't expect King Suwon to come. I'll kill her to lower Koka's morale. After that, I'll deal with the dragons. And you see, as he goes, do it, you see the soldiers kind of like take an aim with an arrow. And you see a bam with the as one of the Dromos gets punched. And you see Lady Mainyon come back, and she goes running off. And she like goes and blocks herself in front of Yona and goes, wait, hold your fire! Don't kill her! Yona would be devastated! And he's like, Lady Mainyon! And she like climbs up onto the execution post. It's like, Lady Mainyon, please step aside! He's like, I refuse! He's like, kitten, that girl is there of her own free will. She believes she can protect her friends by offering herself up. There's no need to feel guilty. And Mainyon's like, I've caused her to suffer endlessly, and Koka's people did so much for me. I can't bear this. Kill me instead. I'll gladly die here. And the Dromos is like, I'll retrieve her. He's like, I have no reason to live. If you want to toy with me, you can use me for target practice. But you'd better believe I'll kill you in the next life. Chagol, you son of a bitch. And you see the next one as Yona like breaks free of her ropes, Goes Maignan, thank you, but I'm fine. Bro, what the fuck is this? God, man, I'll save thoughts for the end, but like, and Maignan's like, what? Princess Yona? And you see, God, it's the guys from the other kingdom. I can't remember what the name is. It's the one that calls everyone kitty and the squinty-eyed bro. I was like, we're waiting for you to move away from him. So things were getting tense, but it was rather satisfying to hear you chew him out. So I'm glad the Senju was effective. And Chagol's like, they swapped places with the Dromos? It's like, it's impossible for me to fight you, but I can serve as a hostage. It's like, that girl. It's like, once you feel a bit better, it's like, let's give him a proper beating, okay? It's like, impossible. It's like, what a farce. So you have chapter 239, The Will and Reason to Fight. It's like, do you think you're clever? You have nowhere to run. It's like, kitten, return to me. I'll consider sparing their lives. And Yona's like, there's no need for that. Val will come save you. He's like, what? I'm sure you'll see him soon. She's like, huh? Wait, he's alive? And Chagol's like, I'll take this, as he takes a bow from one of the soldiers nearby and knocks an arrow. And you see with a thok as he fires it as the Southern Kai? God, let me look up. Hold on, I'll do this quickly. This is why I said it's like the problem with like reviewing the series. After so long, I cannot remember who anyone is. It's not Sky Tribe, Fire Tribe, Wind Tribe. No, it's not you people. It's not the dragons. Tuli Tribe, no. Sei Kingdom, no. Shing, that was it. Yeah, Void and Algira, that was it. Algira jumps off with Maignan and Yona. And Chagol's like, kill everyone but my kitten. And as the soldiers like knock the arrows, you have a thok, thok, thok as someone fires arrows into them instead. And you have a whip as you see someone just like rapid firing arrows. And you have Princess Yona's executioner. He's shooting allies. It's like, curses. Is he an enemy too? And he's like, that's... And you see Kaji's like disguised himself as a soldier. He's like, Kaji, you're all right? He's like, Lady Maignan, I'll help save you. For sure this time. And Algira's like, we saved Yona, Kitty, and Kaji when they were surrounded by the Dromos. Then we snuck in dressed as the Dromos and soldiers. We couldn't know how you were without getting close to Chagol. And you see Ho as a little squirrel like jumps towards her. It's like, Val is alive. It's like, he's alive. And you see a thoom as Chagol himself like dumps down below with like his little like bladed curved sword in his hand. And you see him like looming behind as he goes, as Voldo's like, please stand back, Princess Yona. And you see with a giant slash as he gets cut down by Chagol like effortlessly. And he's like, Voldo! And you see with a whoosh as Algira runs forward towards him. And you see him just like rapid fire, like punching through at him with like a bunch of jabs. And Chagol just kind of like effortlessly dodges all of it. And as Algira kind of like leaps towards him with a kick, he also slashes at him. And he's like, Algira! And you see as Kaji fires some arrows at him with a crack, you see Chagol just kind of like cutting it out of the air. And you see with a thok as he sends Kaji flying with a kick as well. And you have enemies and allies alike were frozen in shock. Chagol had always been protected by generals or the Dromos. No one had ever seen his strength before. He's like, what's the matter? And Kaji's like, my body. He's like, are you so surprised by my strength? He's like, move. Even if a worse hell awaits me, I have to keep fighting. And Yona's like, yes, you are that strong. Yet you've only ever used that strength to hurt those around you. It's like, what an impudent girl. You intended to kill me all along. And Yona's like, at first I meant to head back once we saved Maignan. But as long as you live, this war won't end. And Chagol's like, she's my kitten. You and the dragons came to me freely. You can't complain about whatever happens. It's like, Yuhan used to behead his prisoners. That mustn't be allowed again. I want this to be the final war. And Chagol's like, it will never end. Royal figures like me only exist because of the people. So that's Yona saying that. And going, it's difficult, but finding ways to create a future without war and working toward it gives purpose to our lives. He's like, how naive. Then why not throw down your weapon? And she's like, if you want, I will if you want peace. But if you mean to imprison Maignan and the dragons, that's a different story. At the whip, she fires off an arrow, which she kind of effortlessly dodges. Then he just grabs her. And she's like, Maynion's like, Princess Yona! It's like, Maynyon, don't worry. I won't give anything to this child who wants to destroy the one you love. And he kind of just slams her to the ground and goes, Princess Yona's execution will happen as planned. The king won't come. No one can protect you. You're nothing but an inept little girl with royal blood and red hair. What purpose have you served? And you see Emperor Chagol! You see Huck like looming behind him. And she goes, my royal blood and red hair were more than enough to distract you for a moment. And you see Huck just looking furiously swings in with the glaive, and Chagol just blocks at the last second. Yeah, what's the deal with this guy? It's like, you're a bit too close to watch the execution. And Huck's like, whose execution did you say it was? And he's like, God! He's just like forcing Chagol's blade back against his throat. And Vol's like, Lord Huck! He's like, what kind of person killed him? And he thinks back to Ron telling him it was like a man called Huck. He's like, I think it's safe to say he's Koka's most powerful warrior. He's like, so you're Huck. And he kind of just like pushes him back with a slash. And you have Emperor Chagol as he just like fire off a bunch of arrows. And with his back turned towards him, he's like, die. And as he tries to do it, you see Yona getting up. She fires an arrow into Chagol's shoulder. And he just kind of like looks at it in surprise. And he stands there with a stomp. And Kaji's like, he won't go down. It's like, Imperial Highness. And he grabs the arrow and just like pulls it out. And Huck's like, Princess, stay back. He's like, I'll be okay. It's like, not from where I stand. You were nearly executed. Not on my watch. You see a plip as like Chagol's like bleeding from his wound. It's like, it's not over. It's like, people of South Kai, don't be discouraged. Victory is ours. It's like, 3 dragon warriors, Koka's human weapons are already in our hands. They're on their way to Phoenix Palace. Reinforcements should arrive at any moment. Our empire won't fall from such a small scratch. So you have chapter 240, no. And you have, despite how I'm dressed, my name is Yotaka, and you have 5 stars of Shing. By order of the beautiful Queen Korin, I am accompanying Princess Yona and her friends on a mission. While Princess Yona distracts Chagol, I've got to save the captured dragon warriors. Here I go! And you see a bonk and a splat as Gija just punches him and knocks him out. He's like, Taka, Yotaka! It's like, sorry, I thought you were one of the Dromos. It's like, Algira, Voldo, and I borrowed these garments to sneak in. It's like, how did you get in? Did you defeat all the guards? And you see a little map of like camp's main gate, soldier tents, defeated guards. He's like, yeah. It's like, what's going on? I saw no one at Chagol's tent. It's like, Hawk rushed to check things out after hearing that an intruder is about to be executed. It may be a trap. And he's like, the Princess Yona's execution. And Kita's like, what? Tremble. It's like, she let them catch her. Algira and Voldo are here with her. Hawk's probably joined them. I'm searching for the other dragons. And he's like, the others? I sensed their presence nearby, but it vanished. It's like, vanished? And Jeha's injured. It's like, it's dangerous for him to go any farther. It's like, first let's rejoin Algira and the others. Can you stand? He's like, okay. He's like, don't stab me with that hand. He's like, he reaches out his claw hand to help Gija up. It's like, it's like, what's wrong, Val? Hope you didn't challenge me without the resolve to kill. And you see both Val and Titana looking like beaten and bruised. It's like, did you hope to convince me to join you? It's like, I did rather hope you might allow me to help Maynyon escape General Hitan. He's like, damn it, as he rushes forward. He's like, I shall assist you! And Gita just punches him out with his dragon arm. And then he drops with a gun. I was like, Val, are you alright? It's like, what about your legs? And Val's like, he's unconscious. It's like, should I not have done that? And Val's like, no, thank you. I'll let him sleep here for a bit. And Gita's like, Val, Maynyon isn't here. It's like, then where is she? He's like, hey, what are you doing here? And you see, what's wrong? Out of cards to play? And Hawk's like, Groupie Eyes and the others have been hauled off to the enemy's base. Algira and Voldo have been defeated. Whitesnake, Val, and Yotaka should still be in the camp. This is more excitement than I was hoping for. I was like, ugh. With their highness held hostage, Koka's army can't come any closer. Yeah, protect his Imperial Highness! And Hawk's like, Princess, take Maynyon and make a run for the Koka army. Leave the enemy to me. It's like, they'll probably shoot at her from behind. Can I block all the arrows? I can act as her shield. But what should I do about Algira and Voldo? And what about Sinha and the others? And it was the thump. And she's like, Huck, let me stay with you. I can fight, please. And he goes, ask me that in a somewhat sexier place once we're home. And he's like, I'm going to survive. At least a little. No, way longer than this. I've run this far after all. And Yona's thinking, like, I won't let you die. And they're looking at something in surprise as Chagol looks up and he sees like this hawk soaring overhead. And you have a bird? You have talk. It's like, who are they? It's like, rebels from a nearby village? It's like, no, it's the enemy. It's the Coca army. And you see the wind tribe all just rushing towards. It's like, they've invaded with no warning. And you see, what is Fire General Bro's name? Give me a second here. Not Earth Tribe, not Wind, Fire. Taejun rushing along with, what is Wind Tribe Bro's name? Not that guy. Is it Wind Tribe or Sky Tribe? Sky Tribe. I don't know what the little brother's name was. Doesn't matter. Yeah, just in time. Like, Suwon, could you mobilize the troops while we carry out our plan? It's like, mobilize them to what extent? And Yona's like, you just need to light lots of torches as a smoke screen while we enter the camp. Then I'd like you to be a smoke screen for our... And then he goes, then I'd like you to be a smoke screen for our army in turn. We'll let them think we're only causing a ruckus with an army of torches so that you can sneak in. Then we'll stealthily deploy the Wind and Fire Tribe armies behind them to carry out our main goal of crushing them. We should have them completely surrounded by sunrise. Please retrieve Maignan before then. You have Lord Huck. He's like, hey guys, sorry it's been tough being sneaky in a group like this. Like, about time. It's like, Your Highness, are you hurt? It's like, Kija. And you see Val and Maignan like reuniting. And as he just like kind of grabs her face and goes, I'm incredibly angry. Understand? I'm angry. He's like, yeah, sorry. It's like, don't ever say you'll go with him again. He's like, I won't. I'll marry you, Val. It's like, slow down. It's too soon for that. As they look back, Chagol's like still bleeding. And he's looking furious as he goes, he came. And you see Suwon's pet bird kind of like landing on his shoulder as he's riding up. He goes, so this is Suwon, King of Coca. He's like, we haven't met, have we? Sorry for being out when you dropped by Hiryu Palace. I came because you invited me to Princess Yona's execution. But this looks like your execution. And he's like, most of my camp's troops have suddenly been defeated. I see. Yona was the bait and I was the one lured out. It's like, you're going to execute me in such a dismal place? Like, so foolish. The likes of Coca and your petty resistance against the Kai Empire are like an ant fighting an elephant. A boy like you could never control a nation of this size. And as he tries to like lash out at Suwon with his sword, you see Huck going in and slashing him across the chest instead. I see a clop. And you have Emperor Chagol! And you see Ron coming in, like grabbing him on his horse and riding away with a clop. And like, what? It's like, don't let him escape, bring him down! You have General Ron, that's our General Ron. It's like, this is General Ron. And Kaji's like, still resisting? Get them under control. It's like, I didn't expect he could escape. It's like, those wounds should finish him quickly. And Gija's like, the other dragons have been taken to Phoenix Palace. We have to hurry, and it's like, it'll be alright. And Kaji's like, I had Princess Yona help me tamper with the carriages so Lady Maignan wouldn't be taken away. The Dragon Warrior should be in one of them. It should break down well before they reach Phoenix Palace. Alright, I guess some quick thoughts on this volume. I don't know, man. Like, I feel like there's a lot of issues with this volume. I'll try to like touch on it one after the other. So like the one hand, it's kind of tiring having every single, like almost every arc being like, you know, one person gets held hostage, the others are gonna go rescue them and like take them out before they get captured or tortured or whatever. Then they get rescued, then someone else gets taken as a hostage and they have to go rescue them from this place now. Like, it gets very repetitive having this back and forth of like, alright, like different groups will be like taking turns being like, okay, we'll go get held hostage now so that someone else can go rescue them and like back and doing like the whole back and forth. And that's kind of compounded by the fact, like, we're kind of learning, like, after the fact, like, oh, Yona had this whole plan, like, because there's no and it's been a while, so maybe I just missed out on all this, and, like, this is just, like, unfair critique. But it doesn't feel like there was any setup or foreshadowing of, like, Yona having had, like, this backup plan in place where she's going to be held prisoner, where, like, the Dromos going to be, like, actually be infiltrated by the South Kai people, or not, is it the South Kai? What emperor was it? Hold on, sorry, give me a second. No, sorry, it wasn't South Kai, it was Shing. Shing's people being like, oh, they infiltrated, and like they were never in any real danger at all. It kind of like saps and leeches all the tension out of it by like retroactively being like, oh, they were never in any real danger at all. Like, oh. So it kind of just like leeches all the tension out of it. And it's kind of compounded by the fact that Chagol really doesn't have much of a presence at all. Like, he's too stoic as a character, like his facial expressions and everything. And a lot of what we learn or know about him is like through other people talking about, like, how bloodthirsty he is and like how charismatic he is, like this and that and that. But when we meet the actual character himself, he doesn't really have much of an impact. Like, he's very, very bland and stoic. And he does kind of just leaves me wanting more out of him. And I don't know if, like, Kusunagi's just, like, having a hard time trying to decide how to characterize him. Or he's thinking about, like, oh, it's how, like, taken he apparently was with Maignan and being like, oh, I want her, and, like, being disappointed that, she's not, like, the feisty person that she once was. And she's, like, become a broken toy. And, like, he wants to discard her and, like, get a new one. Because I feel like, all right, I feel like they have to pick a lane with Chagol and be like, alright, do you want him to be like, this ruthless, bloodthirsty guy, possible misogynist who, wants to, likes getting strong, confident women, like, breaking them down, breaking their spirits, like, discarding them once he decided that their usefulness has given up? Or do you want to add, like, some more complexity to that? But if you do, you kind of have to do the work for it, and you can't just kind of just be like, oh, just kind of throw out, like, half-hearted hints at it. So I don't know, like, this felt like a very weak and lackluster volume, and it feels like even Kusunagi's kind of getting tired of this conflict with South Kai, kind of like wants to wrap everything up as quickly as they can. So I don't know, we'll see. Hopefully the next volume is a little bit more compelling than this. But yeah, I feel like Yona, like, needs to kind of wrap this conflict up sooner rather than later. So with all that said, I hope you all did enjoy this video. If you did, please do like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Like I said, I'll try to get out at least one more volume for this today. So yeah, look forward to that. Apart from that, Shonen Jump stuff should have all dropped by now as well. So yeah, a lot of good content coming out your way. Until next time, this is Ash. Talk to you all later.